What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey Pipes. It's one more day closer to Friday and one more day closer to my trip to Central Florida to install an ACiQ Essentials 9000 BTU single zone ductless system in collaboration with ACiQ and the king of mini splits. Just wait until you check out the video on the Mikey Pipes of Florida YouTube channel. I'll put some clips here on this channel as well next week, but it's going to be an awesome collaboration and a start of a great new program that ACiQ is starting to offer their dealers. Details in future episodes. You're not going to want to miss it. Today, I got to tell you folks, our warehouse here at 1010 Central Avenue is getting full. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ACiQ private label ready heat pump HVAC systems. And they're all got to be installed. The warboard, where we track the goals of the company, which is 2,000 maintenance agreements. We're at 326, which is 16.3% to our goal. James got 3 maintenance agreement signups this week. I got 6. Daniel with the goose egg, as well as Janine. But this is not to put pressure on anyone. This is to promote transparency and show recognition to the team members, my family, when they go above and beyond. It's awesome. The goal is 2,000 maintenance agreements. We're 16.3% to that goal. Today, see this? There it is. That's the 24. We don't want to put that one in. You see this 48,000 BTU system? You see, this is the air handler. Looks like that beautiful thing, but a little bit bigger. This is the outdoor unit. It's a side discharge model. It's going to provide heat pump heating when it's negative 15 degrees at 100% capacity. That's awesome. They say it'll work to negative 22, but what happens when it gets 22.3 degrees? They say it'll still work. But this system does not require heat strips to operate. Great. You want to have an emergency backup in case that outdoor heat pump condensing unit fails? Knock yourself out. Put those heat strips on, but make sure you de-energize them so they're not going to come on by accident. Because you see that 3-ton right there? That's getting installed by a client of ours who got bamboozled by the contractor / builder who flipped their house before they bought it. Told them they got a heat pump, but they lied. They just gave them a regular straight cool Goodman outdoor unit with 3 tons of heat strips. I think they gave them a 9 or 12 kilowatt heat strips on the air handler. Their electric bill this past January, February was $1,300 a month. Maybe PSE is trying to screw them over too. I don't know. But today, we're taking out a 3.5 ton straight cool system for an existing residential client not too far away and putting in the 4-ton. This video is going to document the work that I do outside, which is prepare the ground. We're going to build a nice little perimeter with some pressure-treated lumber. We're going to put some gravel down. We got the stand that's going to sit on. We're going to connect the line set, not with a B-tank or a brazing rig. We're going to connect it with flare connections. We're going to make some nice bends with the bender. It's going to be tits. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button and subscribe and hit that notification bell to get post notifications when I drop a video, which is basically every single day. Are you ready? Let's go. All right, 740. There's the comfort maker. Looks like a dog was getting to that coil there. There's our line set coming down from the attic. Very little to read. See, that's 42, 3.5 ton. All right, well, we're not gonna use a wall mount bracket here, but we're gonna put a bed of gravel here. We're gonna make this look really, really nice. That's the goal. That is the goal. I'm just thinking about, yeah, we'll get it here. I'm not worried. All right, I have not disconnected the power yet. Just gonna expose the electrical compartment. Not too shabby. I'd love to set this up like right there, maybe. Yeah, you'll be all right. Or maybe not. Anyway, we're gonna pump down this compressor and the refrigerant back into the condensing coil. I'm removing the service port caps. I'm gonna put on a couple of these JB climate class probes. Now that one I never turned off yesterday, so the battery's gonna die much quicker. They do not automatically turn off. I wish they did after a certain amount of time, but they do not automatically turn off. Okay, 158.7. I'm gonna close my service valves. Get my service wrench ready. We're gonna close our high side. Okay, nice and snug. Get my low side ready. I'm gonna push down that contactor with an insulated something so I don't get shocked if I slip a little bit. And then once my pressure drops, we're going to close that valve. Unfortunately, my meta glasses are broken. I have my JB climate class probes right there. I'm gonna shove this in there and let me show you. All right, so our pressures are dropping. Once that gets down to around 0, we have successfully pumped the refrigerant back into the condensing coil. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2. Look at that, 0 pressure. Let's close the valve. And as soon as we get this fully closed, we're negative pressure. As soon as we get this fully closed, almost, come on. Back and forth. Is it even going anywhere? Yeah. There we go. Pop it out. We're at negative pressure here. All that refrigerant pumped down to our condensing coil. Now, you can't do this on some systems that would have an internal bypass on the compressor, and you'll actually have to recover the refrigerant. But we recovered all the refrigerant into our condensing coil. Our recycler is certified in handling refrigerants as well with an EPA certification, so he recovers all the refrigerant, part of his take when he scraps the unit. All right, let's disconnect power. Now I'm going to take my left hand and put it behind me, and I'm going to use my right hand and pull that out. All right, I disconnected L1, L2, and our ground. The ground screw did not want to move, so I ended up taking the whole lug thing out. Now our low voltage wiring, let's see what we got here. We have 2 wires being utilized from inside, and now look what they did when they installed this. They didn't use just 2 conductor, all right? They used, looks like they used 4 conductor. Yeah, they used 4 conductor wire here. So from our indoor air handler to the outdoor unit, they utilized the red and the black. Doesn't really matter what colors they use as long as it's consistent throughout. I like to use the R and the blue wire, because R and C, or sorry, W and C. Damn, tongue twister. Y and C. Y is the cooling circuit. There we go. So that's that. Let's get this out of the way. Let's let's cut our line set and remove our probes and slide this bad boy out of here. So while I'm working outside, Derek's gone. Derek quit. Daniel and Gio, our new apprentice, they're inside in the attic working on the air handler, taking that apart. Thought it cut me right there. All right, so our 3/8 is disconnected. The 7/8 is disconnected. Line voltage, low voltage. We're ready to slide this bad boy out and start preparing this area with a nice base. Oh, it's gonna look beautiful. Can't wait. All right, I cleaned up the area, trying to level out the dirt as much as possible. Yes, I know that's a little higher than here, or a lot higher, but I'm gonna first concentrate on this floor mount bracket. When I ordered the equipment from ACiQ, I asked them for a universal outdoor unit stand. They sent this Rector Seal slab condenser stand, model 87743. Looks pretty straightforward. One page, one side. Huh, you can even install it on a roof with a slope. Look at that, pretty cool. Let me put this together and get my dimensions, and then I could square off where I need to be there with some pressure treated lumber, make a little bed. I got bags of gravel right there. It's gonna look nice. Don't worry, it's still a blank canvas. But I gotta tell you, that thing that they sent me, piece of shit, not gonna work. It's not gonna work for what we wanna use it for. So our scrap metal guy is getting that too, and I just gotta eat the loss of that, that stand. But have no fear. I got the Versatech quick sling here. I'm gonna build this bad boy up, and we are gonna be rocking and rolling. You have the good side. All right, ready, Gio? Hope you had your Wheaties this morning. There's our condenser stand. There's our heat pump side discharge inverter outside unit. There's Gio. There's Daniel. They're young. I'm old. Watch your feet.
Hopefully there's enough room for me to swing it.
Yeah. Thank God you're skinny. All right, you got a little bit more. Okay. Almost there. Perfect. Wow, I gotta admit, that really looks nice. If the condenser stand was the same color, it would really be epic. It looks beautiful, by the way. That really does look beautiful. Wow. And look, it clears the window. It clears the disconnect panel. It clears everything.
I like this better than wall mount, I think.
So it is almost 9 o'clock. I've spent, what, an hour and change? A little over an hour building this. But the gravel, 6 bags of gravel, right, I think?
I didn't count.
6 bags of gravel. Now, I would have liked to use like those rounded 2x4s that are pressure treated, but the ones that Lowe's had were donuts. Very fugazi, but this looks beautiful. Wow, guys. Smash that thumbs up button. Give me some love. Youth. There's the unit. There's Daniel. We got this. 9, 12. So I was gonna braze. I don't know what I was thinking. I was gonna braze this on because I didn't have a 3/8 coupling in the zoom lock, right? And I get the B tank out. Sorry, the brazing rig out. I set up my torch. I set my pressures on the regulator, and I get the brazing rod out. I don't have the Sparky, so I go back to my solder box in the truck, get a Sparky, and I'm looking. It's like, what am I, retarded? I'm brazing this on, cutting this shorter. Why am I not just flaring this with a flare nut on it? Oh my God, I was not thinking. Sometimes you have those like retard moments. I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone, but I'm just keeping it real. Like, don't cancel me, please. And I have my Apple Music app open, you know, just on a random, you know, randomized playlist, play all songs, and like every single one is retarded right now, so whatever, it is what it is. Let me take this 3/8 flare nut off of here before I forget, and then I'm going to straighten out that line. I'm going to make a little bend on that 3/8 copper, make a flare, connect that, put my cover back on the line set, send a little nitrogen through there, make sure we got no leaks or what have you. So first things first, here's that 3/8. I'm using this 3/8 straightener. There it is. That is perfectly straight. Let's align that back with that. I could be getting my 3/8 bender right now, but I'm not. Let's cut this right there. I just eyeballed it, folks. Now, some of you are gonna say, Mikey Pipes, make sure you ream out the pipe after you do that. I say hogwash. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna get my 3/8, not forget the flare nut. Put that on there. And I apologize if you're not getting a good angle. I normally use my Meta glasses to record hands-free, but they broke. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. That's proper. I love it. Come on, get on there. Use our torque wrench. About 15 pounds of pressure right there. Perfect. All right. Beautiful. All right, now that my line set is connected, that looks really nice. Wow. I have a goal in life, which is to do one better than the last on all of our installs, and this is one better than the last for sure. These electrical knockouts, the 1/2" and 3/4, take these 2 screws out, lay this on the ground, and with a needle nose, smash them open on the ground into dirt. There's no other way of breaking them out. Don't try to break it out here while it's connected to it, because you're just going to do damage to your fingers, your hands, or scratch the hell out of this nice dark gray cover. Just take it out, smash it on the floor in the grass. They pop right out. Just make sure you have good aim. Surge protector. We install surge protectors on every single inverter system we install. We're going to probably start doing them on our boilers as well. It's small insurance policy to protect the very sensitive controls that are inside the system. When you order your equipment, just ask for 2 surge protectors. I don't care if there's one in the whole house. Put one on each individual sensitive electronic device. Get out. Now the leads that are here, you want them to be as short as possible when you install them. I'm just gonna lay this out. I hate it when you put it on the wrong way. You know what I'm talking about. You know what? I like that. Looks pretty cool. Nice. Some of you say, Mikey Pipes, you're not putting a new whip in. I believe in being green. Now, if I could just find out what I did with the piece that I just took off of here, my life would be complete. I found it. I just threw those pieces, 3 pieces of scrap conduit I just took off into the box that's about 12 feet away. I missed all 3 of them. See? All 3 are right next to it. Horrible aim. I should not quit my day job, that's for sure. Okay, perfect. Now I gotta ream this out. That 1/2-inch knockout's not big enough for this 3/4. I got just the right tool for that. I can find it in my tool bag. In case you're wondering what I'm listening to right now, Kenny Rogers. Make sure you wear your safety squints. Beware of hot metal shards. It'll get you. This is a really beautiful install, I gotta admit. I don't like to pat myself on the back, but this outdoor unit is really looking really tits, which means nice. For those of you who don't know what that means, young bucks out there, us OGs know exactly what that means. Okay, here's our surge protector. Here's our L1, L2 ground. I'm gonna pigtail all this together and run 1 lead to L1, L2, and 1 to my ground. Actually, I'll do my grounds individually. Why not? Who cares? I'll get a crimp connector, crimp that on. Perfect. And then we have to do S1, S2 for communication, serial communication. I don't have to use the 24 volts here. Do not put 24 volts on S1, S2, and do not put your S1, S2 on RC or R and Y2. Don't do it. Don't do it, trust me. You don't want to have to tell a customer I need to come back tomorrow with a new board, okay? This is an American company, by the way. All right, just about done with the wiring. I didn't pigtail the way I said I was gonna do it. I did it that way. The low voltage 24 volt wiring from the previous system is getting repurposed for the serial communication. And just moments ago, my son at his baby naming ceremony for our new grandchild was just announced. These kids, they were waiting. They just couldn't tell us 2 days ago. Oh, by the way, my wife and I are now grandparents to 2 granddaughters. Here, Raina Charlotte was arrived early Tuesday morning. And there's my beautiful granddaughter, sleeping like a baby. Raina Charlotte. And if beautiful. It wasn't for this install, which really needed to get done today, because I am going to be in Florida doing a collaboration with ACiQ and another contractor, the kings of mini splits in Central Florida, I would be there this morning. But I wish my son and daughter-in-law an amazing blessing. I wish them continued mazel, simcoat, and of course, parnassa. You guys can look that up who don't know what that means. Google it. But just well wishes to our growing family. Jacqueline, my daughter-in-law, gave birth Tuesday morning at around 4-something in the morning while I was sleeping. And very easy childbirth, according to her. And we have granddaughter number 2. It's pretty cool. Raina Charlotte. Good stuff. Yeah, proud grandpa. And I'm not even 50 yet. Amazing. All right, full disclosure. It's 10 minutes to 12. Still the 16th? Still the 16th. Look at the full vacuum. I got the field piece, the BP67 vacuum pump. Yeah, it's been on for about 45 seconds. Helps by open that valve. Cool. Let's go. I got a crazy glare on my screen right now, but I just wanted to talk to you about what I'm doing right now. We're at 48, 47, 46, 4,500 microns and dropping on that micron gauge. Maybe asking, why are we doing this? Well, it is industry standard, and pulling a vacuum on an air conditioning system or any refrigeration circuit, you know, it could be a rooftop unit, could be even a portable AC unit, right? Isn't about just about, you know, best practice. It's absolutely critical to make the system work properly and last. So you're not doing this and pulling a deep vacuum, you're not going to have a reliable and dependable system, because eventually those non-condensables that are in those pipes that you didn't vacuum out properly and the moisture that's in the system, well, that's just going to mess up the oils in the entire system, you know, at the bottom of the compressor, and just mess it up. But so number one, we do this because you're removing air. We call them non-condensables in the world. And when the system is open, like it was for, you know, about 2 hours today, when we cut those lines, taking the old air conditioning unit out, the old air handler out, you know, air gets inside those lines, right? And if you don't take the air out, because air does not condense like a refrigerant, you're going to get high head pressure, reduced efficiency, poor heat transfer, and the compressor running hotter than it should. So the bottom line is, you know, air in the system equals garbage performance, literally garbage performance. Number two, the most important reason, one I believe, is you're removing moisture from the system, because moisture is the real enemy in a refrigeration system. If you don't pull a proper vacuum, the moisture plus that refrigerant oil equals acid formation, which will lead to acid burnout, and you'll have a dead system. Acid eats the windings, and that equals compressor burnout. Moisture can freeze the metering device. You know, that's that valve that lets refrigerant flow at a certain rate based on what it sees and what it senses. The metering device, guys, you know, TXV or EXV or piston, whatever it is, you know, it gets in there, it's not good. But most importantly, that oil breakdown, long-term system failure. And this is why shortcuts come back to bite the guys. It could be a few months later or a few years later, but eventually it will bite you. By taking out the moisture, number three, you're dehydrating the system. You're not just sucking the air out, you're boiling off moisture. When we're at 962, 60, 55, 50 microns, we are boiling off moisture right now. That's in that line, that 7/8 and 3/8 line, and inside the evaporator, we're boiling off that moisture. And when you pull a deep vacuum below 500 microns, the water boils at very low temperatures and it turns to vapor, it gets pulled out. That's why when you're vacuuming down, it may jump up and then go back down again, because, you know, that expansion of water boiling off, it expands. So if you're not using a micron gauge, referring to your refrigerant manifold, and you see 29 inches there, and it means nothing. The micron gauge, like I'm using right there, is a truth teller. And most importantly, when you pull a deep vacuum and it passes a decay test, you're verifying system integrity. If you pull down a vacuum and it's not holding, you got a leak, or you got moisture still present in the system. And that's where that decay test comes in to tell you if the system is tight and dry. Now listen, I've seen other YouTubers, you know, trash a decay test and literally had an evaporator coil test and it passed the decay test. Okay, you know what? Nothing's perfect, right? But we use a decay test when we start up and commission a system to make sure we have a tight and dry system, right? Because the decay test will tell you if the system is tight and dry. And if you skip this process that I'm doing right now, listen, it's been what? I've been talking for 4 minutes and 27 seconds. So 5 minutes it's been running. We're at 620 microns and dropping. If you skip this, you're risking callbacks, you're risking metering device issues, no cooling complaints, but most importantly, compressor failure. 6, 12, 18 months later, guess who gets blamed? You. Don't blame it on the equipment. So this system right here, I just sent a picture, a before and after picture, to a gentleman that I had a kind of like a phone interview with on yesterday afternoon when I was in the pool. Yeah, I get home around 2 o'clock. So do my guys, by the way, and went to the pool, and I had a 3:40 phone call with him when he got off the train, when he was getting home from work. I think he started at 4 o'clock in the morning. Seems like it could be a good fit. But I sent him a picture before and after of, because I told him yesterday what I was doing today. And he goes, yeah, send me a picture. So there that is. That's a 4-ton heat pump inverter driven outdoor unit. And guess what? It's whisper quiet. And also guess what? Out of the box, it's private label ready. I'm not advertising Trane, Amana, Goodman, York, Lennox, Mr. Cool, Goodman, Daikin. I'm not advertising any other brand except my brand that's known in my community. Make sure you stick around because you're going to love the startup, which is just going to be moments away. So remember, folks, if you're not pulling below 500 microns and verifying it holds, you're not installing HVAC. You're installing future problems. Let that sink into your head. I don't think I'm getting up there right now. All right, I opened my high side service port first. Now I'm opening the low side. And you gotta give it a little wiggle because they don't like to come out. We are ready to energize, by the way. Make sure everything's closed, perfect. Let's plug her in, let it fire up. All right, you just turned on. It's hard to read the display in the sun, but we are in stage 2 cooling. Does that automatically. It's communicating, remember, communicating thermostat, communicating air handler, communicating outdoor unit. This is the future, folks. Embrace the technology or get left behind. We are, I don't know, 10 feet away. You don't hear a compressor. You hear the fan moving air. What's amazing about this system, that at the completion of every cycle, the fan stops. Guess what it does, folks? It runs in reverse. Why? To clean that coil. Self-cleaning coil. Runs in reverse after every single cycle. And no, you don't have to insulate the 3/8 line. And no, there are no filter dryers. You don't got to insulate the 3/8 line. It was a beautiful system. That is sexy. And this is the future today. Full disclosure, it is 12:46 and a half. forgot the extension cord. Look at that beauty. She is gorgeous. Looks a little naked though, don't you think? Oh, so much better. Gotta love it how out of the box these systems by ACiQ come private label ready. Stop advertising other brands. Start marketing and branding your company in your community today. Go to aciq.com/Mikey Pipes for free, no obligation details. And just in case we're not the ones servicing in the future, the next guy can scan in that QR code and get information. Easy peasy, folks.
To change the mode of the system, you press whatever that icon is.
Okay.
And that's cool heat. Auto will just switch. I would just pick cooler heat.
Gotcha.
For the winter, cool for the summer. I just turned it off. To raise or set the temperature for heating, it's going to end up over here, but for cooling, it'll be right here.
Okay.
And you just up or down.
Gotcha.
It's already connected to Wi-Fi, but to connect it to the app, you have to download the app.
ACiQ.
And where is it?
Connect that.
Yeah, connect that.
Gotcha.
You'll scan a QR code will pop up here. It's very straightforward.
Okay.
And then it'll automatically configure everything.
Great. And now to does this also handle the if we need to switch to gas, the gas furnace?
No, this is the gas boiler you have? No,
Gas
this
boiler.
is strictly the heat pump and the air conditioning.
Okay. So then how do you have like a 20-degree day?
All right, just turned off the block. Full disclosure, folks, it is 110. 110. We are done. This client took advantage of our interest-deferred financing plan that we offer through Synchrony Financial. 6, 12, or 18 months deferred interest. Doesn't mean interest-free, but as long as the invoice is paid in full in 18 months, he pays no interest from the date of installation. It does cost me, as the merchant, approximately, I don't know the exact number, but roughly around 5%. It's the cost of doing business, and gets the job done. I don't have that many clients utilizing the financing. My geographic area, thank God, we're okay. We're okay. But it is a tool to help you sell and close the deal. Damn, you should saw that was. Let me stop. Married man, Mikey Pipes. Behave yourself, Mikey Pipes. Thanks for watching, folks. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, you got something out of it, let me know in the comment section down below what you got out of it. The best way you can support this channel is by hitting that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Smash that thumbs up button and hit that notification bell to get post notifications when I drop a video. I try to drop a video every single day, every single evening, usually around 5 or 6 p.m. It is work, ladies and gentlemen. I recently started clocking and monitoring how much time I spend on social media, my channels, to build my brand presence, and it's roughly almost 4 hours a day. It's a lot of work, and I'm not charging you anything for this. If you want, you could be a member of the channel and become an apprentice for as low as $2.99 a month. Hit that $sign at the bottom of the video in the title bar. But thank you, folks. There's no pressure, but it's nice if you do. And if you live in the Long Island, New York City metropolitan area, and you're tired of getting bamboozled by your HVAC contractor, you know what to do, folks. Pick up the phone, give us a call, 516-348-6300. Or save time, book online at pipedoc.net. And if you or someone you know is in need of professional plumbing, heating, and cooling services, and they are unable to afford such, my nonprofit organization, the Mikey Pipes Philanthropy Charitable Organization, offers free or low-cost plumbing, heating, cooling services to those in the community who can't afford to hire a professional. Head on over to pipes4free.org, the number 4, free.org, and fill out the form, and we'll be in touch. I do operate a nationwide network of contractors. If you're interested in volunteering your time to help those in need in your neck of the woods, sign up at pipesforfree.org to volunteer your time. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoy creating content like this, but I also, more importantly, I really enjoy installing high performance air and heating products in my clients' home and places of work. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, be well, God bless, stay safe.